Yihan Wang just left GAN, but why? I mean, he was sponsored by GAN for 4 years. So why did he leave his sponsor? In this video, you're gonna find out. Yihan Wang is a world-class cuber from China. He's broken so many records that I can't even count them. And let me just say, he's pretty much just broken cubing. And he's only 10 years old. And not only did he leave GAN, but he also joined the Cubicle. And in addition, he got a world record. But let's first talk on why he left GAN. The reason why he left is because he tried some Moyu cubes and liked them. So that's contributed in him changing cube runs. He got a world record average with a time of 4:09, and in today's video I'm going to be sharing each time of each solve. The GAN 15, one if not the most hyped cube of the year, is finally released, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about it. Keep in mind that this is not a review, it's more as an overlook to what other people are saying and giving my opinion on what I think about it. Coming from the boxing experience, it looks very premium, in a very GAN-like kind of box. It has this light purple with red and black, which go together so well. When unboxing the cube, it comes with a traditional GAN bag, which is fresher than French red.
Et je vais être complètement transparent.
Inside the box, you'll find the adjustment system, followed with the center cap thing. According to other sources, they say that the cube feels very tactile, which I kind of like in my GAN cube because I don't want an unstable cube that I feel is going to pop in my hand all the time. And I really like this too because it's very different from its predecessor. It's more like the 12, and I really like the 13 or 14. It also comes with some centerpiece pieces, which we have never really seen in GAN cubes. But a small disadvantage about the GAN 15 is that it has a lot of plastic inside the cube, so this means that it might lock up more easily. The cube is very fun to set up, which is pretty cool because his predecessors didn't really have that. It was kind of difficult to set up, and it had a lot of adjustments. An example for this is the corner adjustment system. Now, it's not in the corners like it used to be, but inside of it, and you have to place the magnet strength you want, which I think is better because it used to be a headache to set them up. You had to get the adjustment tools to set it up, but now you just place it in. And I think the outcome of that is that the cube is cheaper because now it costs $69 and even cheaper in other retail stores. And this also solved the problem that the cube used to have. Because of the corner adjustment system, sometimes when you move the cube, things will switch around and mess up your whole corner adjustment system settings. Something actually kind of surprising is that the weight of this cube is 59 and its predecessor, the GAN 14, is 68 grams. That's such a big difference. And because of this cube being so light, it's great for practicing and training before a solve or a competition. And this cube is so good, according to Timon Koloshinsky, that he might consider changing from the GAN 12, which a lot of people like, to the GAN 15.
Currently, I'm using the GAN 12 as my main, but I'm considering switching to the 15.
And because it has a lot of adjustments coming from the centerpieces, it's basically a 2-in-1 kind of cube. The GAN 356M and 356ME are two releases from GAN, and in today's video, I'm going to be comparing them. First things first, the most obvious thing is the size difference. If you look on the left, the box is much bigger and wider, but if you look on the right, it's much smaller and takes up less space. These boxes function very similarly on how the TV3 and TV4 boxes are. One is smaller and one is bigger. Let's first take out the 356M. So in the box, it comes with this Cube Station app thing, the cube bag, and the pamphlet. Now let's unbox the 356ME. In the box, it comes with the cube tutorial thing, the cube, and the box. When opening the box, you'll find the traditional GAN bag, a pamphlet on how to solve the Rubik's Cube, and another pamphlet explaining on how to adjust the cube. I have a video on that, so if you want to watch it, it'll be down in the description. Now, let's compare the cubes and see which one is better. Let's start with the 356ME. So this cube feels amazing. It's very speedy and very tactile, and I really like it. This cube is very fast, but it still maintains its controllability. The corner cutting of this cube is amazing, and it can corner cut almost everything, if not everything. But it depends what setting you have it on. I have it on almost the tightest setting, so it doesn't corner cut everything. Now, let's move on to the 356M. This cube feels very speedy, and is not really as controllable as the 356ME. It's actually pretty uncontrollable out of the box. The cube turns very good, and would take the lead if it didn't have horrible corner cutting. You can't really corner cut from anywhere, even on the loosest setting. So yeah, the 356 ME wins. The Tornado V4, one if not the most hyped cube of the year, is finally released, and today I'm going to be talking about it. If it's any good coming from other people's perspectives, and giving my opinion on it, and seeing if it's any better from its predecessors, and if it's just a copy or just a different kind of cube. Coming from the unboxing experience, the box looks great. It's very different from its predecessor, and it looks like a Gen box, and it's kind of pleasant. It looks much smaller, and it's not really that large compared to its predecessor. Talking about the cube in general, it looks very good and clean. It still has the magnet adjustment system, which is even better now because you just adjust it once. They've moved on to the edges and corners to just the corners, which is easier to adjust now. Another huge advantage is that the colors are more vibrant now. In the old cube, it was kind of hard to look at the pieces and it was kind of difficult to set up. But in this one, it's different because you don't have to really worry about that. With this release, they also changed some stuff. Remember when people used to complain about the magnets getting loose, or the pieces breaking or falling off, or the cube having a concerning sound coming out of it? Yeah, that's fixed now. Something also pretty cool about this release is that they added a blank center cap and one with the logo. A lot of people were begging companies to release blank center caps, and she noticed it, so they released it in the Tornado V4, which is very cool. So this cube has two versions, one called XMD Tornado V4, which is just the one that has like a bunch of magnets in the edges. The other one is the simplified version, which is just the upgrade of the Tornado V3, which is the one that's like normal with the edges and corners. The Tornado V4 also offers a better and more premium plastic. It just looks and feels better, and that's something the older version doesn't have. But the magnets and the adjustment system haven't changed. But for me, that's not really a big deal because I already like the system. Comparing both of the cubes, the Tornado V4 has a more forgettable and effortless turning. So in general, there's not really much differences in both cubes like we expected it to be. But the cube still feels more stable, so that's a thumbs up. At least they didn't do it like GAN. They released cubes that are not the same and feel very different. And yeah, in general, this cube is very cool and I really like it. Even though there's not major upgrades and not really that different to its predecessor, I still really like it. And yeah, I hope to see world records. Today, we're diving into a big debate in the cubing world. Speed versus accuracy. What's more important? Should you focus on blazing fast solves, or is precision the key to success? Let's find out. Let's break it down. Speed is all about how quickly you can solve the cube. But if you're making too many mistakes, does it really matter? On the other hand, accuracy ensures you don't mess up your algorithms or have to fix errors, but it can slow you down, so how do we find the right balance? Speed is what makes cubing exciting. Competitions are won by those who can solve in just seconds. Practicing speed comes down to mastering algorithms, improving figure tricks, and reducing your solve time at every step. But here's the catch. Going too fast can lead to mistakes, misaligned pieces, and even forgetting what step you're on. Speed is awesome, but only when it's under control. Accuracy, on the other hand, is all about being consistent. If you can execute algorithms perfectly every time, you'll avoid those frustrating moments of having to redo a step. Plus, accurate solving is a great foundation for building speed later. But focusing too much on accuracy can hold you back if you're overthinking every move. It's about knowing when to be precise and when to push for speed. I wanted to see how speed and accuracy compare in action. Here's a fast solve with a few mistakes. Here's a slower, more accurate solve. Let's see the results. The fast one was impressive, but the mistakes added extra time to correct. Meanwhile, the accurate solve was slower, but it was consistent and error-free. Interesting, right? The results speak for themselves. A balance of speed and accuracy is the way to go. What do you focus on more? I focus more on speed, but let me know down in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. After leaving GAN and joining Moyu, Yihan Wang on November 2nd, 2024 tied the world record average, getting a 4.09 second average, which in that time was very surprising. But a month later, on December 8th, 2024, Yihan Wang destroyed the world record average, getting a time of 4.05. And in today's video, I'm going to be showing you every solve he did to get the world record average that I'm still shook he even got. In Yihang's first solve, he gets a 3.84 second solve, which is his best solve, so that one doesn't count. In Yihang's second solve, he gets a 4.25, which is his worst solve, so that one doesn't count either. But in Yihang's third solve, he gets a 4.14 solve, which counts. In Yihang's fourth solve, he gets a 4.13 second solve, which also counts. In Yihang's last solve, he gets a 3.87 solve, which also counts. I don't really understand how this 10-year-old kid is so good at cubing. I mean, he gets world records almost every month, and he acts like it's normal and that is so easy. But congrats to Yihan Wang. And by the way, this kid got a 3.71 world best average. It's not official though, but it's still very impressive. Recently, the Gen 14 was released, and to its surprise, it had a lot of cons, which I will get into later. And basically, from the time being $90, it's very expensive. And the time I'm recording this, it's $65.9. And if you want to get the upgraded version, aka the Pro, it's gonna cost you about $70, more or less. It depends where you get it from. But like I was saying, it has a lot of cons. Like, most of the settings are terrible, it's overpriced, and it pops on your face. We might have to fact check the last one. I'm not sure about that one. But from the past week or so, we have seen, let's just say, rumors, but they're not really rumors because it's pretty much confirmed. I mean, Mari Hiroto Inaba, a cuber from Hawaii, already has the prototype. Let me show you a clip of Mari Hiroto Inaba's video. I mean, just looking at the solves, the cube looks very clean, and I hope it goes the same way for its turn. I hope it's not like the 14. Not only because the turning felt clumsy and unstable, but also because it was kind of its own cube. Not really an upgrade from the 13. And I think that's pretty much why a lot of cubers stayed with the 12. It did not really move forward after that release. And I hope this doesn't happen to the Gen 15. It doesn't get thrown out of the bus, like the past releases. And yeah, I hope it's more promising than its previous releases. I hope it's not this unstable, clumsy kind of cube, because Gen has just stayed to that cube style, I'm just gonna say. But talking from my perspective and my turning style, I kind of like more this controllable, stable setting. Don't get me wrong, it's not that I don't like fast cubes, but more that most speedy cubes are just very uncontrollable and not pleasing to use. An extraordinary example for this is the Gen 14. Yes, it has 1296 settings, but that doesn't really help. I mean, in the tightest setting, it still pops very easily and not really that controllable in my opinion, on what I've seen. And yeah, we don't really have much information about the cube itself. We have cubers who have the prototype, like Leo Borromeo and Mari Hiroto Inaba. There might be other cubers that have it, but they haven't addressed it. About 1 year ago, arguably the best cube ever was released. What was the cube? It was the Tornado V3. A lot of people loved it because of its tactile feeling and its amazing adjustment system, with one of the best, if not the best, features ever to be released. It also had things that Gen didn't have, like adjustable magnets that are very easy to set up. And with its amazing elasticity tension, you knew this cube was going to be something extraordinary. And this cube is so good that even a world-class cuber, Max Spark, used it in his record-breaking 3.134 world record single solve. But right now, if you search on YouTube, Tornado V4, you'll see videos talking about how the Tornado V4 was supposedly leaked. If you go into Shi's channel and go on the playlist called X-Men Design, you'll see in the top bottom that there is an unlisted video. Right now, it's not there because Shi took it out, but I have the video, so don't worry. In this video, they're talking about elasticity tension and how to set it up. They're also talking about the adjustable magnets and how to set them up too. And they're just pretty much talking about how to set up the cube. At first sight, you don't see any difference on the Tornado V4, except for its sectioning system. If you look at the little handle, it looks a little bit larger, which might help to adjust it. Another thing you can tell in the video is that it's not UV coated and more as a frosted design, which I mean it's okay for me, but I would have preferred a UV coating because last year we got a matte version, so yeah. And you can also tell in the video that now you don't have to adjust the magnets in both sides, but just in one side, so that makes things more easier than it used to be. I know a lot of people don't really like matte or frosted finishes in cubes, but I don't really mind that. I don't really see a big difference on a UV coating finish being more grippy or more useful. I don't mind my frosted or matte cubes. I mean, I used a lot of old school Gen cubes, so I don't really have a problem with it, but it is kind of weird for a flagship to not have UV coating these days because almost every flagship has UV finishes these days. I mean, I don't really mind it like I said before, but it's just kind of unique / weird for the cube to have practically the same finish for 2 years. I'm very excited for this release, and for it to be the most hyped cube in 2024/2023, it's gonna be something big. I expect it to be, at least. For it to be on a listed video and a playlist, that's kinda weird, right? Because that might mean that it's gonna come very soon, and yeah, we can only hope. But yeah, I hope it comes soon. Believe it or not, this competition is going to be the highlight of 2024. With just 28 competitors and a time barrier of 7 seconds, this competition is going to be something unlike anything we have ever seen in cubing before. With just 28 competitors and a time barrier of 7 seconds, you knew this competition was serious. I mean, it was required to have a sub 7 average to go to the competition in the first place. And we saw cubers from all around the world, not just from the US, but other countries, including Timoko Oshitsky from Poland, who actually had the opportunity to get the world record average. But I'll go into that later. I mean, talking about serious, only the top 18 cubers advanced into the second round. So not like a normal competition, every single solve starting from the first round mattered so much. And that definitely showed here. Straight from the start, we could tell the nerves were getting into them. And this is something no one has seen before. It's in the middle of a huge mall. Just imagine all the people watching you, not only in the Jumbotron, but also in the live stream. It's Matty Hiroto Inaba versus Timo Koleshinsky. It is a very tough round. Just imagine you're Matty, and you just have experienced Timo Koleshinsky getting a national average in front of your own eyes. But on July 16, 2024, Timo Koleshinsky destroyed the national average. Today, I'm going to be showing you how to adjust your 256ME. When first unboxing the cube, you'll see this cardboard, which you would throw away. You'll see the cube, and you just stick it out, right? And here is the little box, which there's also the adjustment tool. You're going to open it from here, and you're going to see this adjustment tool, which is like the same one from the iPhone, but when you're opening up the pamphlet, it's not really that clear. I mean, it just says how to turn it and that you have to turn it clockwise, but it doesn't really instruct where it is. So today I'm going to be showing you how to adjust the 356ME and how to not really complicate it as much. So you're first going to take out the center cap. There. It's kind of hard to take out because it has this little foots, which are kind of hard to take out. But here's the adjustment system. So to set up the cube, you have to look at the little center travel distance. And if you want to change the setting, you are going to be looking at the little space here. If the space connects with the number, it means that it is tensioned to that number. So to change it, you can just go clockwise like this. Now it's on 1, and this is how it turns, which is like the most flexible setting, but it also means that it can pop a lot. But let's say you don't want it at 1, and you want to change it to 3. Well, you can turn it clockwise too, like this. There, and 3 turns like this, which I believe is the tightest setting. It still feels very fast. If you don't like 3 either, you can change it to 2, which is the normal setting it always comes with, which is my setting, and it's like the best for me, like this. And that's all the settings from the center travel adjustment system. When I change the tensioning adjustment system, you can go down here, and the little numbers you see here, which you have to put a flashlight on or something because it's very light and it's the same color as the plastic. So the largest number is 4, which I have it on 4, which I think is like the best one. But you can also change it, like this is 4. Tension adjustment means is that tightness of the sides being compressed to the core, a little tighter or looser. So if you want to change that too, you can go down here and change it. Which I changed it there to the setting of 3. This is how it turns. Pretty good, right? If you like it on 3, you can leave it on 3. And if you want it on 2, you can just adjust that too. And yeah, that's basically how you adjust the cube. If you want it to be fair in like every spot, you can just do it with all the center caps, and that's how you do it. Thanks for watching.